Ready? Two-step equations with a fraction is what we're going to learn about today. We're going to do two quick examples in this video. Please feel free to pause, stop, or do whatever you need to do as you're working through your own problems. The first one is going to be 2/3 x plus 10 is equal to 14. Just like in any two-step equation, our very first step is going to be to take care of the one that does not have the variable. That's the one we always move first. We make sure to take the sign of that number with it. So in this case, it's a plus 10. So to move it, the opposite of addition we know is to subtract 10. So we're going to subtract 10 from both sides and do our math real quick here. So we're going to subtract 10 from both sides. We're going to bring down our leftovers. We have a 2/3 x left over. 10 minus 10 is going to be 0, so it goes away. 14 minus 10 is going to give us 4. Now we've got to deal with that pesky little fraction. We've got that 2/3 x. This is a cheater way to get rid of it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our denominator, which our denominator is the bottom number, which is 3. And we talked about in class that we're going to knock it out of there, and when we knock it out of there, we move it over here, and we're going to multiply by 3. So when we do that, it goes away on this side. We're left with our leftovers again, which our leftovers are 2x. Now we have 4 times 3, which is going to give us 12. Now we have a simple one-step equation. And with a one-step, where most of the time for the things we do in class, we're going to be dividing. So we're going to divide by 2, because we know when a number and a letter are walking together, it's multiplication. So to undo it, we're going to divide both sides by 2. This becomes a 1. It leaves us with x is equal to 6 as our final answer for that first problem. Let's do one more really quick example, and then you can start working on the things that you need to work on. So our next example is very similar. It's going to have one fraction, 2/5 x, minus 6 is equal to 5. Just like what we did a minute ago, we're going to mark off the one that's just a number by itself. So when we do that, we see it's a minus 6. So the opposite of minus 6 is to add 6. So we're going to do that to both sides. We're going to add 6. Bring down our leftovers that we didn't touch, our 2/5 x. Minus 6 plus 6 becomes 0, so that goes away. And we have 5 plus 6, which is going to be 11. Now, just like we did in our example a minute ago, we're going to take our denominator and we're going to move it over here and multiply by it. So we're going to multiply by 5. Now, of course, you can multiply by the reciprocal of the fraction, and if you want to do it that way, please feel free to do that. Our leftovers are 2x. On this side, we have 11 times 5, which is going to give us 55. And back down to a nice, simple, easy one-step equation. We're going to divide by 2 on both sides. Now, this is the part you might not like. You're going to put that in your calculator and you're going to say, Mrs. O'Neill, I get a decimal. Decimals are okay, and fractions really are our friends. So for our purposes, we're going to leave it as a fraction. So that's it. See you soon.